These are called Swangas, and they originated in Houston, Texas, back in the 80s. They can be put on your car as long as your car is no wider than 8 feet. Hi y'all, thank you for coming to my video again. I just want to say thank you all. Hit 500 subscribers. Thank you all so much. I actually wanted to do some kind of merch. I want to put positive sayings on like hoodies or t-shirts or something. I don't know. I'm still thinking of ideas for that. But YouTube has the criteria set for that threshold to be 500 subscribers and then 3,000 watch hours, which I only have a little over 1,000 watch hours. So that's kind of a screwy way to do it. They could have at least put it half, which would be 2,000 watch hours. But anyway, thank you all for pushing me up to 500. Thank you so much. And I recently did a short about the spiky hubcaps that I saw. I did get some comments about me being a Karen or something to that effect, but it wasn't that I was a Karen. It was that I saw something interesting, and that's the way I am. If I see something interesting, I like to make a video about it or something. And I actually was honestly asking a legitimate question: is that legal? Because I have never seen that before in my life. When I pulled up next to that truck, and it was like a 2500 series work truck, and I saw those spikes. I was like, and they were huge. It may not have looked that big, but they were sticking out from the truck like a good, I don't know, 6, 8, maybe bigger. I don't know, that many inches. I was thinking that, could that shred somebody's tire? And I did look online, and I did see there were tires that were shredded by other people that they had an altercation with somebody who had those kind of spikes. But those were metal spikes. But a lot of people were telling me that they were plastic, which I looked up, which, yes, there's plastic spikes, and they're quite cheap. You could buy them for, I don't remember what it, like $15 or something. And there was also the metal ones they're much more expensive. But somebody brought up, Baby Thug Life brought up the term Swangas, which I didn't know I knew what they were, but I didn't know what they were called. And I've seen them before. They're the spoke rims that stick out, or either they turn. They look like they're not, they look like an optical illusion. They look like they're stationary, but they're actually turning, they're actually spinning really fast. And yeah, up in the Panhandle here, around here, we do have those Swangas and the perpetual turning spokes where they look like, I like to look at those. They're really mind-bending, because it looks like they're not moving, but they are. They're moving very fast. But the Swangas, yeah, we have them here. I didn't know what they're called, but I looked them up, and they originated in H-Town, which, for people who aren't from Texas, that's Houston. And they originated in about the mid-'80s. And I've been to Houston one time in my life. My mom was at the MD Anderson Cancer Center. And I've been to that city. It's a huge city. I think it's our biggest city, actually, in Texas. I think San Antonio is second. And maybe, I'm not sure if it's Dallas or Austin or El Paso, maybe third. I don't know. I just know that Houston is our biggest city, and San Antonio is our second largest. And I've been there just for my mom being in the cancer center. And I've noticed a lot of those Swangas. I really haven't seen as many now. I think they're kind of, or at least where I'm at, they're kind of like going out of fashion, I guess. But they were around for a long time, and I remember seeing them. They were always on like older, like caddies and the Lincolns, the big Lincolns, even from the 70s, these older long stretch cars like 98 olds and stuff like that. And there's a acronym called SLAB, and it means slow, loud, and banging, which I think that's pretty cool. And it's that's what the large long cars are called. And then you put the Swangas on it and drive around town, show it. And the length of the Swangas, I found out, can be pretty much any length as long as your car is no wider than 8 feet, including the Swangas. So from the very tip of the swing on one side, measure all the way to the last part of the opposite side. Can't be any wider than 8 feet, because the road lanes, well, I haven't found an official width of the road lanes, but I've found from anywhere from 10 feet to 14 feet. So you can't be, too wide that you're going to go over the line or something like that and interfere with the traffic in the next lane. So no wider than 8 feet. They're also called elbows. So yeah, I've seen those. I didn't know what they were called. I've actually heard of that term Swangas, but I guess I forgot. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it. But I guess the area where I'm in, they used to be really popular. I see them all the time, and not really knowing what they were. But they've kind of, I think, gone out of fashion. I think because of other cars, people getting newer cars, and the older long stretch cars are, they're harder to find now. A lot of them are, those cars are 50 years old now, 50, from the 70s and 80s, 50, 40 years old, trying to find actually a car with a good body on it that is that old. It's getting harder and harder to find older cars that are really in good shape, that are well taken care of, or that can be to find parts for if it's got any body damage, to go to a junkyard and collect parts for it, or to get the mechanical parts for it, finding those parts to make it run. Plus it's expensive, rebuilding a car. And I don't know if people are I don't know if it's just this region that I live in that it's just not as popular as it used to be. I used to see them all the time. And then I don't know if it's still that popular in Houston, if it's still, ongoing, if it's still growing in popularity or not. I don't know. I've seen the videos of the car shows with, them showing off their spokes. And also the wheel cover in the back for a lot of the Cadillacs that have the spare tire on the back, they also put one on there too, and some of them stick out really far, like 20 inches or something like that. And I just thought it was really neat. Thanks for bringing that up, Baby Thug Life. That was interesting, and when I get interesting things like that in the comments, I actually do read the comments, and I look up things, and I thought that was really cool. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up online. I don't know if they're in other states, if other parts of the country have had these if they become popular then, if anybody remembers them, or if they're still around in other parts of the country. I don't know if that's just a Texas thing, or I'm assuming it's from all over that it caught on, because I think I've seen it on TV shows and things like that. I know I have. But I don't know if it's still around, if that culture is still around, if people are still popularizing it and still doing that to older cars. Because like I said, it's hard to find. When I see an older, like a Continental or old Lincoln stretch, something that, it catches my eye. I like older cars. I like cars from the 60s, 70s. I like to see them fixed up. I like to see nice old cars like that. But I think a lot of people may not have the money or the interest, or it's just harder and harder to find those cars that they're not so damaged that you can't financially, you know, be able to replace parts or find body parts for the cars or stuff like that, or people who can do a good job. I think it also can be regional according to where you live at. If there's people who do that kind of work that can, I think maybe you have to be in an area where there's people that know what they're doing to fix up a car like that. So I think that also is kind of relative to whether they're popular in certain areas. So that's a really interesting subject, and if you haven't seen them, look them up online. I see less and less of them now. But that was the first time I ever saw the spikes. It reminded me of Mad Max. I was like, is this for real? It's like, I've never seen that before in my life. And I was like, can I do that to my truck? But nope, not going to do it. Actually, my truck is having a lot of issues. It's going to be very expensive to fix. I got a new car, not brand new. It's about 6 years old, but it's a really nice car. Wasn't expecting to have to do that because it did put a crimp in my plans. I wanted my truck to last long enough where I'm trying to move onto property. I went to go look at some property yesterday with a friend, and it just really put a crimp in my plans because it's going to put me back a little bit, several months financially, to be able to do what I want to do. But I'll probably make another video about my other car that I just got. So thank you all. Thank you for coming to my channel. Thank all the subscribers, everybody, viewers, everybody. Thank goodness I finally got up to 500. I'm going to try to get more. It's going to take a while, but thank you all.